Simplicity is deceptively hard to achieve. It feels easy to consume for your customer, but it will feel harder than the longer copy you write for you and your business. This is why so many brands get simplicity wrong. It's hard. But for those that get it right, they combine the incredible power of top-of-funnel SEO with middle and bottom-of-funnel performance copywriting. I'm Mike Phillips, growth marketer and strategist with 12 years of marketing experience. In this lesson, we're going to cover 3 key things. We will define what we mean when we're talking about simplicity when it comes to content. We will explore why simple content is important for your business and the pitfalls of getting it wrong. And we will discuss how you can get simplicity right, along with some homework for you to practice on your own. First, let's talk about what we even mean when we're talking about simple content. Thomas Jefferson once said that the pinnacle of all talents is to not use 2 words where one will do. Now, Thomas Jefferson long predated anything that resembled SEO, but his wisdom holds true here. When it comes to UX, 5 words is better than a paragraph, 2 words is better than 5, and 1 word is better than 2. Think about this from your own perspective. The last time you visited a website, or a pair of websites, and you had a long paragraph copy, and you had short, punchy, appealing copy, how did those 2 compare in how they made you feel? Your customers have similar feelings when consuming your content. Interestingly, none of those feelings have anything to do with your features or benefits of what you're selling, and yet they affect the buyer's journey. And so there are 3 key elements to defining simplicity when it comes to content. Your content must be skimmable, it must be expandable, and it must be minimal. Let's dive into each one. Here's why those 3 attributes matter, the cost of getting simplicity wrong, and how to get it right. When it comes to skimmable, why this is important is that we actually don't have short attention spans. What we have is short consideration spans. We have gotten very good as a modern digital native society at cutting through the noise. It only takes 1 second for someone to form a first impression of a piece of content. And so we must make the most of that rapid assessment period. The second part of simple content is expandability. The key issue with the lack of simplicity in content is that no one wants to read an essay. The pitfall businesses fall into when it comes to missing on expandable content is that you need a certain amount of copy to rank well, to satisfy the technical aspects of SEO. And some businesses prioritize keyword stuffing over user experience. And all of that stuffing generates feelings because remember, our buyers are human, even though we are ranking in a search engine that is an algorithm. We must satisfy both. I use the phrase hook, line, and sinker as a device to help me remember how to build expandable, simple content. When you have content that is in depth, there is nothing wrong when it comes to needing deep content to fully explain and justify and add value to your benefits and features. The trick of hook, line, and sinker is to remember how to introduce, from an experience perspective, that deep content. Hook. The first line that you write has one job: to get them to keep reading. If your customer does not read and assess on that first line whether they want to invest attention further, it does not matter how good the product or service is, it doesn't matter how good your copy is, and it undermines how good your technical SEO was, because they will bounce. The second word in my device is line. The line after the hook is very important. It has to deliver value immediately. The assessment to give attention was achieved by the hook, but if you don't honor that, if you don't reciprocate that attention immediately with your second line, they will bounce. Together, the hook and line achieve an important effect. The effect is called the curiosity gap. The idea here is that once you have attracted people to your page, you have hooked them with your leading line, and the second line is inspiring and desire to learn more. It provides value, but adds a element of curiosity so that they will want to read more. And so here's where the structure of expandable content comes in. Consider an accordion UI element or a read more link that may reveal or expand a section of the page. The first impression is that the page is simple and streamlined. It was skimmable, which was our first point. But this expandable element allows you to go deep after you have earned their attention. The benefit of expandable content is that it is visually simple to digest without having any of the risk of losing the ranking power of the deep content. Use hook, line, and sinker to gain the simplicity of expandable content. Balance the clout of technical SEO gained through deep content with the need for a simple UI by having the content do both through an expansion, either accordion or expandable box. The importance here is that you're able to maintain a visually simple experience, earn their attention through the hook, keep it and inspire curiosity through the line, the second line, and then move into the read more, sink them in to the read more. Hook, line, and sinker. The third element of simple content is minimalism. Just because we can earn their attention to sink into deep content does not give us a blank check to present them with a thesis length of discussion. Now that's a bit of an exaggeration. In most businesses, though, we tend to have copy that is longer than it should be from our customer's perspective. The pitfall here is that we are writing for internal stakeholders. We may have different individuals, different departments, different executives who want their phrasing to be in the copy because they believe they have the best way or the best value proposition to present. The pitfall here is this copywriting by committee often drastically increases character count without proportionately increasing value to your customer within that content. The key aspect of minimalism and simplicity is to cut your character count when you are discussing the features and benefits of your product or service. This is circling back to Thomas Jefferson. Use one word rather than two. So we know how a lot of businesses get it wrong, writing for internal stakeholders. So how do we get it right? It begins with asking the right questions to getting yourself in the right mindset. You need to write directly to your customers. You need to answer the questions that they ask the way they ask them, in the language they like to speak. And by focusing in on how they speak on their language, you're able to eliminate all the superfluous. You're able to not go deep on a piece that an internal stakeholder thinks is more valuable, but emphasize every precious character and word to be one that answers what the customer cares most about. This is how minimalism can preserve your technical SEO. You're already answering the right search queries in the customer's voice. Here, you're now prioritizing continuing that voice and stripping away all the other noise. To recap, simple content needs to be skimmable, expandable, and minimal. Getting this right balances the benefit of deep SEO with simple customer experience on your page. The pitfalls are that doing this is hard. It's much easier to just write with abandon and allow the long keywords and internal stakeholders' voices fill out your copy. In this way, doing it wrong is easier, but more costly to your bottom line. Getting it right leverages all the benefits of SEO and UX while also driving better conversion page performance, and ultimately, revenue. I have some homework I'd like you to practice. Go online and find 2 competing providers for a product or service. I want you to explore them and compare ways that they approach simplicity versus complexity in the copy and content on their site. While comparing, consider how it makes you feel as if you are a buyer, and recognize that these feelings are usually not related to the benefits or features of what it is they're selling. Then go to your site and see where on the spectrum you fall. Look for opportunities to add simplicity. And then look at your analytics. See pages on your site that might be more simple or more complex, and look at how the metrics compare for time on page and conversion rate. Your second assignment is to now go deeper on opportunities on where you can convert complexity to simplicity using the 3 elements we discussed. As you make changes, if you have the opportunity to A/B test, compare before and after you've made these changes to increase simplicity on your site. Respond to the data appropriately. As much as we may feel a change should be an improvement, the numbers will not lie. In your comparison and testing, even without A/B testing, compare over time and refer back to sites that are your competitors or that are out of industry so that you can continue to gather new ideas. The best way to create simplicity is to consume simplicity. If you put quality in, you'll have more techniques, strategies, and ability to create your own simple content. Simplicity is not a static thing. It is dynamic. As your customers change, the way they ask questions, and their behavior shifts as our entire society progresses through how we interact with the digital world, the definition of simplicity will continue to evolve. And that means you need to continuously reevaluate your content. Have you gone too far where you have stripped out a key piece of value? To put that back in, what will you take out? Perhaps you have simplicity in word count, but you're losing simplicity in clarity. This is a constant push and pull when it comes to short copy. Remember the techniques of expandable content that will give you more options to be able to break things out over a skimmable structure. Doing this allows you to test and balance where you need to start with the shortest copy and where you can dive deeper after you've earned their attention, hook, line, and sinker. To wrap up, by now you should be able to understand the 3 elements of simplicity, know to avoid the pitfalls of allowing complexity to rule your site, and know how to get simplicity right through tangible and practical steps you can take with your copy and site design. In the next lesson, we will dive into personalization. We will discuss ways to enhance your UX while further satisfying your users. Thank you for learning with me. I'm Mike Phillips, and remember, don't use 2 words where 1 will do.